Video number 3, showing houses. Okay, so we went over how to become a real estate licensee. We went over prospecting for new business, and guess what? We picked up a buyer. And it's time to start showing houses. New real estate agent, this video is about showing houses. If you've been in the business a long time, this is a video over how I show houses. So hey, maybe there'll be a couple nuggets in there for you as a seasoned salty agents. Maybe there's something in there that I do that you're not aware of that will help you out. So stick around. That's what this video is all about, showing buyers houses. In today's part 3 of the real estate agent training, new training, old agent training. Stick around. If you're new to the channel, my name is Josh Barnet. I'm a real estate agent with eXp Realty. I have a small team of agents that work with me at eXp Realty, and I've got referral agents all over the US. eXp Realty is crazy. It's amazing. It is mind-blowing. That is the whole reason I came up with this channel. Never had a channel before. When I was at the small itty-bitty brokerage, when I was at the big independent brokerage, when I had my own office, I didn't have an agent training channel like this. I had my own internal videos that I would send agents, but never anything to the public. Why help the competition? Well, that's the crazy thing about eXp Realty, folks. There's no competition. It is hands down the most amazing brokerage that I've ever been at. I've had my own brokerage. I've been at a franchise brokerage. I've been at a big independent brokerage. I have been at an itty bitty teeny weeny independent brokerage. eXp Realty blows me away, and that's why I made this channel, to teach agents everything that I know and to help sponsor them to come over to the real estate brokerage that's going to take over the world. It's absolutely mind blowing, everything eXp Realty has to offer. Enough of that. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these videos in this 15-part series on real estate agent training, real estate agent everyday daily task. Let's get into today's video. Okay, like I said at the very beginning, you found a buyer. You got your license, you prospected like we talked about, and you picked up a buyer customer. And guess what? It's time to show them houses. So that's what this video is about, showing them. Step number 1, find out when they want to look at houses. Maybe they get long lunch breaks. Maybe they're a VP and they get as long as lunch breaks as they want. VPs are the best customers to work with when it comes to showing houses because they can look at them during the day. That's great. And it's nothing rushed. It's real relaxed. It's real calm. It's not like they're flying in on Monday and they're heading out 3 days later. Those feel a little rushed. They're doable. They're completely doable. But find out when it's best to look at houses for that person, and that's super important because you don't want to schedule houses when the buyer's not available. So step number 1 is find out when they're available. Tip number 2. Do not show houses in the dark. Don't do it. Don't do it. A house will not look the same in the light as it does in the dark. You have to show houses in the light. If they fall in love with the house and it's dark time, then tell them, drive that house in the morning. We're going to put everything together. We're going to work on getting another contract, but drive that house on your way to work in the morning. Look at it and tell me you still want that house, because houses, neighborhoods, they all look different in the dark. And when the light comes out, maybe there's something they don't like. Maybe the neighbor has an RV up on blocks with the sewer pipe just running into the city sewer. That's a huge extreme. But maybe it could happen. Okay, so don't show houses in the dark. Tip number 3 when showing houses is place vacant homes in between occupied homes if possible. You want a nice linear line when you're showing houses. That's me driving through the city. Nice linear line when you're showing houses, but put some vacant homes in there. That gives you break if you're ahead of schedule, behind schedule, or anything like that. You don't want 4 occupied homes and then a vacant home, because something comes up. Things come up while you're showing houses. Things do come up when you're showing houses. So if you've got 6 homes to show, 2 of them are vacant, do 1, 2 occupied, vacant. 1, 2 occupied, vacant. Okay? Put it. That gives you a breather. It really does. And I promise it will help the showings. It will help you be cool, calm, and collective. So tip number 3, vacant homes in between occupied homes. Tip number 4, get everything scheduled the day before. Get it at minimum, I would say 36 hours. At minimum, I would say 36 hours. The reason I say that is if it's a tenant occupied property, at least here in the state of Oklahoma, you've got to have a minimum of 24 hours notice. And if you reach out to the listing agent and you're all like, hey, I'd like to show that house tomorrow at noon, and it's noon right now, like, how's that listing agent gonna be able to adequately give that tenant 24 hours? Or how are you, if a new house pops up, how are you not gonna have, you're gonna want enough time to be able to wiggle that in and adjust those schedules a little bit. So get everything scheduled at minimum a day ahead of time, if not 36 hours ahead of time. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 when showing houses. Tip number 5 when showing houses. Be calm. Like I said, weird things happen. Like maybe the seller's spouse got the showing notice, but the one who's at home doesn't know that they're supposed to have a showing today. Like, things come up when you're showing houses. It's your job as a real estate professional to be cool, calm, and collective throughout the process and be able to work it out, because you know what? Everything is able to be worked out, especially when showing houses. It's all able to be worked out. You just take it one house at a time. If they're following you, because I don't ever recommend people ride with you in your car. You got to have really good car insurance. If you do that, you're taking their lives in your hand. But if they're following you, and let's say you go right as you go through the light, it turns yellow. Right as you go through the light, it turns yellow. Don't worry. Just pull into that gas station, flip around, and then sit there at the light and wait for it to turn green. Just sit there. You can easily handle that, no problem. Never drive over the speed limit. Be cool, calm, and collective. Don't rush anything. Never drive over the speed limit. And if you lose them at a yellow light, pull into the gas station, pull into the Martell's bookstore, pull into the Hobby Lobby, and just wait in that parking lot till the light turns green, then you can go. Okay. Tip number 5, cool, calm, and collective. Tip number 6 when showing homes. Remind the buyer to be open with you. Remind the buyer that you want to have good communication, that you don't want them to hold back. If it's not the right house for you, when you pull up to it, tell them, say, hey, if we pull up to one of these houses today and it's not the right one, tell me. I don't want you to waste your time looking at this house if you know you don't like the neighborhood. Tell me. We're building a bond here. I'm here looking out for you when you're buying this house. I want to make sure that when you close on it, you're happy and you don't want to move in a year. So if you want to move in a year, it's expensive to sell a house, okay? Be open with me. If you don't like that there's a stairway right when we open the door that goes upstairs, and we open a door today and there's a stairway there, tell me. I'll be like, oh, okay, let's go to the next one. You don't hurt my feelings. These aren't my houses. I want to make sure at closing, you've got all your questions answered and you're 100% ready to move in. If I did that, I did my job, okay? Get the buyer to have open communication with you and not hold back on the house. Tip number 6. Tip number 7. As a new real estate agent, you may not know exactly what to look for, but as you go through more and more home inspections, you'll be able to see more and more items to look for. And you're not trying to sell a house. You're a salesperson, you're a salesman, you're a saleswoman. You sell houses. It's your job to sell houses. You don't get paid unless you go to closings. But if the brick on the outside has broken down 6 inches and falling off, when you're looking at that with them, talk to them about that. Say, hey, that brick's falling off. That's definitely gonna, if they're doing an FHA loan, that's gonna need fixed for the FHA loan, definitely. If they're doing a conventional loan, it's just something they need to be aware of. A brick repair job could be $600, could be $4,000. It just depends on how much brick is needed. If it's got tons and tons of tree limbs over the house, the insurance company is gonna typically say all that needs removed. You can't have tree limbs over the house. Most insurance companies might drop you after closing. Here in Oklahoma, the insurance companies don't look at houses until after closing. How weird is that? They say, hey, here's a 30-day policy. They don't tell you that, but it's only worth 30 days. And then that policy doesn't go active until after closing, until they send someone out to look at it. I think that's screwed up. I think the state legislature needs to make them go look at it and guarantee that year-long insurance policy, not just give people a 30-day, quick fix on their insurance. That's so screwy that does that. But if there's tree limbs over the house, you want to point that out to them. Hey, make sure you talk to your insurance agent and tell him to get their butts out here, tell him or her to get their butts out here, look at this, and make sure that we don't need to negotiate those tree limbs getting cut back during the TRR process, or even up front when we contract. So number 7 is look for deal killers as you're looking at the houses with the buyers, if it's the one they want. If it's not the one they want, don't worry about it. Don't worry about wasting their time talking about that stuff. Let's go to the next house. Tip number 8. Okay, they found the one they want. They love it. It's the one. They want to write it up, okay? You, as a real estate professional, be truthful. Be truthful with them. Say, hey, let me call the agent. Let me make sure there's not multiple offers on the deal. Call the agent on speakerphone. Leave them a voicemail if you have to on speakerphone. Let them know that you're working for them. You're trying to gather all the information that they want. If they're using a USDA loan and there's things on it like and it's a home being sold as is, and there's things like the paint's peeling off. Well, that's going to need scraped and painted for the loan to work. Be honest with them. Don't kill the deal. Your job as a salesperson, your job is to sell the house, but be truthful and upfront with them about everything that you're seeing on the house. If the agent has already put in the realtor remarks that there's, multiple offers, highest and best due, tomorrow at noon, tell them everything. Be truthful, be upfront, tell them everything so that they can be adequately prepared. That's tip number 8 when showing houses as a real estate agent. Tip number 9, on the very first showing, whenever you're meeting a buyer on the very first showing, I like to give them an estimated cost to buyer sheet. So like if they're $400K buyer and they're putting 5% down for 8, 12, 16, they're going to need a $16,000 down payment. If closing costs, if it's a HUD home, they're going to have to pay all the title costs. It's just an extra $2,000. It's not that much money, but give them an estimated cost to buyer sheet up front when you're done showing houses that first trip, and go over it with them. Okay, go over it with them, because their lender who pre-approved them may have just said, okay, based on your income, based on your assets, based on what you filled out, based on desktop underwriting, you're approved for a $400,000 house. Great, but they may not have told them, hey, you're going to have to put down, possibly $4,000 in earnest money. You're going to have $1,500 potentially in inspections, especially if it's a rural property on land. You got well and septic, you got home, and you got termite. And if anything else comes up, you got to pay for those too. They might not know those upfront costs that they're going to have to pay, so you got the escrow, the inspections, and then the loan. The loan costs money. So go over all those costs. As a real estate licensee, at least here in the state of Oklahoma, you're required to go over all those before you contract. So just get it over with on that first showing. Go over it all. That way, if there's anything we need to work on, we know that now, not when we go to contract a house. So it's better to get that all worked out right away. Okay guys, those are my 9 tips for showing houses in 2022. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I make these videos to help train agents to be superstars, to be awesome agents, to be really good at their job. I also do it to help in an effort to sponsor you to eXp Realty. It is a mind-blowing brokerage. Everything it has to offer is crazy. I've never experienced a brokerage like this before, and I'm telling you the truth. Watch my other videos. It's nuts. It's nuts. So take these videos for what it's worth. Verify everything with your own brokerage always. These videos aren't legal advice. They're for entertainment purposes only, but verify everything with your own brokerage, and then eat the fish and leave the bones. Eat the fish and leave the bones. You like some things, great, use it. If you don't like some things, throw it out. But no matter what you do, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss out on any of my videos like this, any of my videos on how to get leads, any of my videos on eXp Realty. All right guys, I'll see you on the next clip.